Good morning. Welcome to Saturday New Distributor Training. My name is Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with ZJ International, and it is my privilege to be the guest trainer this morning. Welcome to all of you. Welcome to my home office. We have exciting times here in ZJ International. This is Saturday, December the 9th. This is the very first day of period 122. For those of you that are brand new distributors, don't worry about all that stuff. Doesn't make any difference, except to tell you that right now we are at the very, very beginning of what is going to be the largest year in ZJ International 2018. First of all, apologies for getting a little bit of a late start. As I mentioned before I started the recording, we had our Diamond Club call. The Diamond Club represents probably about the top, I'm going to guess about 25, 30 distributors within ZJ International. I've been privileged to be part of that since its inception a number of years ago. This is the opportunity where ZJ International's corporate team interacts with the field leadership to bring us up to date on what's happening, what's going to be happening. I will be hosting a short team call. We call it the first Saturday of the period. That'll be happening here in a little less than an hour. And I'm going to be going through a lot of information. You're going to want to be part of that. That's all I can tell you. You're going to want to be part of that. But this particular time of Saturday morning, this is what we call new distributor training. This is our opportunity to share information with our new distributors, people that are just getting started in ZJ. I see a number of people whose names I recognize. AJ, good morning to you. Aloha, Gina. Let's see who else we got here. Of course, Kevin, you're with us. Becca, good to see you. Tanya, one of our up-and-coming rising stars. Yolanda, welcome. Thank you for all you're doing for our family, Yolanda. What's really more exciting to me is all the names that I don't recognize. I keep looking over this way. On my screen, I have a little pop-out panel that gives me the names of the people that are in attendance in the webinar. So very special welcome to those of you whose names I don't recognize, because you represent our newest distributors in ZJ International. Now, a couple of things that I want to do, because this morning I want to do something a little bit different than what I typically do. You're going to want to focus, if you're brand new, just getting started with us. There's a lot of resources out there. I want you to grab your journal. I have mine handy here because I've been taking notes from the Diamond Club call. Grab your journal, your notebook, whatever it is that you are using to become your legacy in your network marketing business. To keep the information that you gather, I've got tons of these. I got a bookshelf back there. I don't know if you can see them. That's got many of these really nice ones. These are, leather bound and got the little gold like the Bibles, old school Bibles and stuff. But when I started my career in network marketing over 30 years ago, they were spiral notebooks, spiral bound notebooks, the kinds that you get for like $1 a piece or whatever at the stationery store. And that's where I started to jot down the information, the notes, the thoughts I had in this journey that has taken me from being a cross-country truck driver, fast forward 30 years. I'm not even going to tell you the level of income that's been achieved. It's been in the millions. These are the kinds of things. What's happening this morning can be the foundation of your new life, that if you choose to be part of the network marketing elite. Now, for those of you that are brand new, I'm going to recommend that you plug in. That should be the very first thing in your notes. Plug in. Plug into the resources that are being made available to you to help you in this journey. See, this is the heart, the lifeblood of network marketing. It isn't about me and all that I can accomplish, but rather any kind of success that I've achieved is directly proportionate to the amount of people that I've helped achieve whatever their goals are. Whether it be to, lose some weight, improve your health, get more fit, whether it be to create a little bit of additional income, maybe that extra, $200 or $300 a week that can change change most families' lives, whether it be to create a home-based business that can become a replacement level of income. Some of you, like me, well, once you've achieved that, you're going to want to go beyond that, get into a level of financial security. Financial prosperity is the next level. The next level beyond that is financial abundance. That's where life gets really interesting, when money is no longer an issue, where no matter what the challenge is, no matter what the obstacle is, if money can solve a problem, you have the capacity to write the check. And all of this started 2 years almost ago now, with a spiral notebook, spiral bound $1 in cost notebook, that I wrote down the Saturday morning training for new distributors that I received from my very first company 30 plus years ago. And so the first thing in your notes should be to plug in. What I have done is I have archived a lot of trainings on my YouTube channel. I'm going to encourage you, if you haven't done so already, go to my YouTube channel. It's www.youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zija, and subscribe to the channel. When you do that, you're going to be notified every time there's a new training or presentation or what have you that has been posted to the channel. When you go to that channel, look for the link at the top that says playlist. There is a playlist there that has 4 videos for brand new distributors. The first one is a 30-minute video called New Distributor Training. This is where I go through the elements that I was taught 30 plus years ago on what you do to build a successful network marketing business. Now, obviously, that company that I was with, that wasn't the company that I retired from. Okay, it was a great company, had great training, wrong timing, but that's where I learned how to do this like the professionals do. And I took that knowledge that was in that 30-minute training that's on the YouTube channel. I took that knowledge and 2 years of experience, and I went to a second company and I made an absolute fortune, sufficient to retire 8 years later. So a total of 10 years in the industry, and I was able to retire at an age when, most guys are looking at 20 or 25 years of work they're still going to have to do before they can think of retiring. And so that 30-minute video training is on that YouTube channel. I encourage you, make that number one. Understand what it is that we do in network marketing. Part of that playlist are 3 more little videos. They're about 8 to 10 minutes long, so probably a total of 30 minutes, where I go over what I call the fast start training. Okay, how to create a prospect list, how to never end up running out of people to talk to, how to develop your story, because your story is going to be your number one tool in building your business. That was the topic of last Saturday's new distributor training. You'll find that in the archives on the YouTube channel. That would be for December 2nd of this year. And the 90-day game plan. How to create a story, how to establish momentum in your business. And see, this type of information, that's there. You should be plugged into that. There are other things that you're going to want to plug into. I'm going to cover those here before I close. But what I want to do right now is to share a little information, assuming that you've already gone through that new distributor training. Okay. Today in Zija, I just did the calculations. I was up early this morning. Obviously not early enough. I didn't get my hair and makeup gal in time. I don't have a hair and makeup gal. But I look better than this most of the time. I mean, wouldn't you agree, right? I'm waiting for you all to give me a thumbs up. This morning, I was running the numbers because this last night, Friday night, midnight Utah time, was the end of cycle 121, or period 121. I'm going to tell you, I already knew, I just had a feeling. I knew the numbers were strong. this past period, but I had no idea. Cycle 121, my organizational volume was the best income since July. Since July. Now, that's almost 6 months. And here's the important thing I want to point out, and hence the, my notes for what I'm going to be doing today. This is the best 4-week period since the month of July, and this should have been a period that was relatively weak, flat, or maybe even retracting, because of this is the period that incorporates, the lead up to Thanksgiving and the hangover from Thanksgiving. Mary, you're always my very favorite person. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. Now, I want you to understand something. I'm not bragging that I've done such a good job. You have to understand that the size of my organization is such that it is very, very difficult for me personally to have a dramatic impact on my income. Okay, it's not that easy because so much of my income is based upon the development of this organization. But what happened this past period is that the organizational volume was so significant, it ended up being the best period out of the last, I guess, probably 5 periods, 5 months. And so the first thing I want to do is I want to congratulate those of you that have been paying close attention to what I've been talking about for the last 60 days. Ever since the beginning of this final quarter of the year, I've been talking about how to set up your 2018. That it is the activities of today that you're going to see the results of, next week, next month, next year. And congratulations, because I'm not the only one that's seen this, okay? There's a number of you out there that I've actually reached out to, spoken to you, congratulated you personally on having a tremendous week or a tremendous month because of your personal activities. When you are brand new in the business and you've only got maybe a couple of customers, maybe one other distributor, you can make a dramatic impact in your income through your personal activities. When you get to the stage of the game where I'm at, it's very difficult for my personal activities to make much of a dent in the organizational volume because I'm such a small part of that. But many of you have seen what I'm talking about, that this has been your best period since, in the 2 periods that you've been with us, or the 3 periods you've been with us, and it has everything to do with your personal activity. Now, not everyone has experienced that. And so what I want to do is I want to share with those of you that have had that experience, have seen significant growth here in the last 4 weeks, and those of you that may not have seen that, I want to share with you why. Okay, I want to share with you why that has happened and how that has happened. Because most people want to know how. How do I do it? How do I do it? How do I do it? And I have to tell you, yeah, that's the purpose of this, Saturday morning new distributor training, is to teach you the how. But I got to share with you something that's way more important than how, is why. Because if why you are successful is important enough, how always works itself out. See, when I first started in this profession, the why I needed to be successful was the most important thing in the world to me. Some of you know the story. I was I love driving trucks. I was a cross-country truck driver. Frankly, driving 18-wheelers is the only job I ever held for more than a year. Okay, I was not that guy. I was not the guy that made a great employee. I was always a very hard worker, but I didn't do well working for the county. Let me tell you, showing up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and them expecting me to be, Johnny on the spot. I don't even get up a good head of steam until about 10, maybe 11 in the morning. I thought it was silly for them to have me show up at 8 in the morning and then send me home at 5 o'clock at night when I was really on a roll. you know, and having to, you know, working for people, my supervisors, they really, they didn't have that burning desire to succeed. I didn't do well as an employee. I love driving trucks because once I pulled away from the loading dock, I was my own boss, and I thrived there. I did really well in that environment. My motivation, why I left that to get involved in network marketing, was to care for my son, to provide the educational resources that he needed to succeed, to have the time freedom to be with him as he was growing up, to participate in his life, to make a meaningful difference in one child's life. And why I had to be successful was so important. There was nothing that was ever going to get in my way. And, you know, I could take, you know, much longer than the time I have here to share with you the challenges I had to overcome. The fact is that most people would never have gone through what I did to be able to get through the first company, then work those first couple of years in the second company when things were not that great, to be able to reap the benefits of that last few years with that company that allowed me to retire. That's kind of a similar thing with Zija. When I joined Zija, they were a tiny little company. I've been, you know, here next month will be the beginning of my, you know, will be my 10th year anniversary with Zija. You have no idea the challenges we had back then, and have had, you know, ongoing for a prolonged period of time. To create a legacy company, a company that'll be around for decades, will produce billions in sales, that doesn't happen overnight. Okay, I can't tell you how many companies I've seen over the last 30 years come into the industry, you know, blow away sales records, you know, hit hundreds of millions of dollars a year in sales, and they're gone. They are gone. They don't exist anymore. The creation of a true lifelong opportunity is so rare in our profession. There's only a couple of dozen companies in the last 70 years out of tens of thousands of companies that have come and gone. There's only a couple of dozen that have done that. Zija International, the only thing that I can say is that, you know, about, you know, anything special about me, when I first saw Zija, I realized this was going to be that company. It's why I stayed with this company through the ups and the downs and the challenges and the transitions and all that sort of thing. And I will tell you, I am more excited today, when I say today, within the last 20 minutes that I got off the Diamond Club call, than I've ever been in Zija. Now, what's that have to do with what I'm talking about right now? If you want to be part of what's happening right now, and as I said, you know, my personal organizational volume, best 4 weeks since July, that ended yesterday, the best 4 weeks since July. For many of you, and you can pat yourself on the back if you're one of those people, you're saying the same thing. Yes, they said, you know, things were going to slow down in the holidays. This is the best 4 weeks. Not every one of you can say that. And so here's the concept for today's training. Why and how. And the most important thing is the why. Folks, it's time to make a decision why you need to be successful in your Zija business. Okay? You need to write that down. What would it, not you know, not goals, you know, oh, I want to make, you know, 10,000 a month. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. Okay? What would the money bring you? It has to be something that drives you out of bed in the morning, drives you to pick up that phone when that phone weighs 4,000 pounds, to make that call to the person that you put on your list the night before you were going to call. Trust me, I know that one. Some of you are laughing. Yeah, the phone that weighs 4,000 pounds. I know that phone. Okay, I know the phone that weighs 4,000 pounds, because you know you should make that call, but it weighs 4,000 pounds. What is it that's going to drive you to do the things that most people won't do? See, that's what we're all about. Okay, that's what success is all about. Why is it that, you know, the top 5% of our country, you know, earns more money than the 95% combined? Okay, Everyone wants to know, how is that? It has nothing to do with how, it's why. When you when you figure out why you need to be successful, how will work itself out. Now, what I'm here to do today is to share with you some of the hows, but you're going to have the why, because I can teach you how forever, but unless you're willing to do the deal, do the correct activities, you're never going to be able to achieve the results. So here's a couple of key things, and I'm going to wrap this up a little bit early today because I want to take a couple of question and answers, and I need a little break between now and the team call at the top of the hour. Here's a really important how, okay? Consistency, write in your notes, consistency of effort and persistency overcomes all obstacles. Consistency of effort and persistency overcomes all obstacles. Let me explain what I mean by that. See, I didn't come to this profession, nor did I come to ZJ International with a tremendously successful personal background. I wasn't that guy that I could pick up the phone, call up Mary and say, hey, Mary, I got a new business going. I want to talk to you about it. Mary's going, oh, my goodness, Fred Holmes called me. He wants to let me get in on his new deal. I can't believe my good fortune. I wasn't that guy. I was a cross-country truck driver. Okay, that was it. I wasn't the guy that had the huge Rolodex or contact list of people, of successful people. I didn't have the, the big money contacts. I didn't know the mayor. I didn't know, the congressman. I was about the only thing special about me is I was about as average as the day is long. Okay, so what was it that allowed me to go from where I was to being able to retire in 10 years and then, be able to, in the time that I've been with ZJ, which is now 10 years, coming up on 10 years, and I have to tell you, the last 10 years with ZJ has eclipsed the financial results I got the first time around. I retired the first time around after 10 years. ZJ has eclipsed that, okay? I mean, it's not even a comparison. It has everything to do with the only things that will really make a significant difference in your business. Consistency of effort on a daily basis, doing the deal every single day, and persistency, doing it long enough to get the results that you're looking for. That one phrase, those two things, will overcome all obstacles. Folks, I don't care, what I live in a small town. I'm new to the area. I don't have a lot of contacts. I don't have a lot of time. I don't have the support of my family. Think of one, okay? Think of a reason why this won't work for you, and I can tell you, I know of at least a handful of people that have the same challenges that you've had, that have risen to the top, that have been able to achieve success because of that one phrase, those two things. Consistency of effort on a daily basis and persistency long enough to achieve your results. I am living proof of that. Now, I'm going to share a story with you. I'm not going to name a name because I'm just going to be cool about that. I'm working with a young lady. I mean, honestly, if you're under 60 years of age, you're young to me. Okay. Zero support from a family. I'm not talking about family that's indifference. I'm talking about a husband that calls up friends and says, when my wife calls you to tell you about her deal, don't answer the phone. Okay, think about that for a minute. When your children tell their friends, when my mom calls, don't answer the phone. I mean, that's a challenge. Okay, yet here's what her characteristic is. She continues to talk to people, and she hasn't quit. And now, guess what? She signed up 2 customers last week. Okay, she's building a little business. Now, is it going fast? No. She's making a ton of money? Not yet. And see, here's the key. Consistency of effort. If you keep asking people, would they like to try something that could change their life? If you keep sampling out, if you keep offering people an opportunity to experience what you've experienced, and I have to tell you, she's done this right. She is a product of the product. She looks great. She's losing weight. You know, the arthritic pain in her hand is gone. She's walking again, fitting in the clothes she hasn't fit in a long time. I'm telling you what, she's doing the deal. Now, there'll come a time, if she stays with this, that she's going to be one of the Zija success stories, and people are going to say, wow, how'd you become such an overnight success? And what they're not going to realize is it didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen because of support of the family, great contact list, blah, 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 blah. All the reasons people think people are successful. And trust me, I've heard them. I can't tell you how many people I know of that say, well, no wonder Fred Holmes made so much money. You know, he's been in network marketing. He had a lot of people he recruited, he got lucky, whatever, okay? Folks, none of that makes a difference. It is consistency of effort over a prolonged period of time that gets results. And anybody that you hear about in Zija that is an overnight success has become incredibly successful. And we have some people that, get in there and they, boom, they're diamond in, 6 months or whatever. Mark my words, take this one to the bank. There is a story behind that story. All right? They didn't become an overnight success in Zija. They had many years of training and discipline and becoming, consistent in their daily method of operation, personal development, so that when they hit this opportunity, they had already gone through all the preparation necessary to be a high-level leader, high-level income earner. Okay? There's always a story behind the story. And so if you don't come to us with that, if you're not already a successful individual, don't expect to jump into Zija and change your life. Okay? Zija is an opportunity that can change your life financially when the time is that you've come to that point in your own personal development, skill set development, and so on, that you're ready for this. Between now and then, you have to do the things that the rest of us, people like me, had to do. Be consistent on a daily basis. Be persistent long enough. I'm going to share something with you. When I first looked at Zija, and this is, well, almost 10 years ago, there were at least, 10 or 11 people that I knew from the industry that were taking a look at Zija at the same time. And many of those folks, not all of them, okay, because I'm not going to try and tell you I'm just some dumb truck driver that's made millions. By the time I got to Zija, I'd already created $1 million income. I'd already gone through all the process of learning the skills, learning the disciplines, developing the daily method of operation, the personal development that's required. It was a given I was going to be successful here. But many of these people, not all, but many of them, were way better than me at this type of business. Okay, and I tell people, I'm not that good. I know great network marketers. I'm not one of them. I'm not bad. I'm not bad. I'm pretty good. Okay, but I'm not one of the great ones. What I have always relied on is that ability to be consistent every single day long enough to achieve the results. It's the tortoise and the hare story, if you recall that one. But those guys, I only know, actually, there's only one of those 10 or 11 people that's still in Zija, and he's not done much. Okay? And so they passed on Zija, but I stayed with it. And these were guys that were a lot better, many of them, a lot better than me. And they've been in their second, third, fifth, deal since then. And now some of them are starting to look back at Zija like, wow, you guys are still here? My last company folded in 2 years. The key here was not that I had something special, okay, but I had developed the skill sets. I developed the experience to spot what Zija could become, and I developed the skill sets, the consistency of effort, the persistency of effort, gone through the personal development. Frankly, folks, all the things that every single one of you can do if you plug in, learn what the successful people have done. So one last comment, then I'm going to open up for questions. Consistency of effort on a daily basis, persistency, do it for a prolonged period of time, but the key is correct activities. You can be very consistent on a daily basis doing incorrect activities and you're not going to get results. Or you can be very consistent on a daily basis doing correct activities, and if you do them long enough, you'll get the results that you desire. Well, Fred, where do I learn the correct activities? www.youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zija. Click on the link that says playlist. There's one playlist there with 4 videos. If you're a brand new distributor and you haven't done that yet, that should be number 1. Okay, now, plugging in. Plug into everything your upline leadership has. As I'm looking, I see several people I know. For instance, many of you, Pat Anderson is part of your upline support team. Pat has done an incredible job of providing resources through her Club Moringa website for brand new people, www.clubmoringa.com. Some of you have other upline leaders, such as Mac and Pat, Mac McDonald, Pat Terry. Plug into your upline leaders. Reed and Yvonne Nelson, plug into your upline leaders. Dennis Estes, plug into your upline leaders. All of you are part of my organization. Plug into me. You should, if you're not on my team email list, if you're relying on your upline to send you that email, are you going to put somebody else in charge of ensuring your family's financial security? Get on my email list yourself. Go to my website. It's www.fredholmes.com. Click on contact. You'll see all my contact information there, my home number, my cell phone, my email address, my shoe size, my favorite color. Everything is there. You can reach out to me directly. Scroll to the bottom of that section, and you'll see a place where you can sign up for my team newsletter. That's my email list, okay? Reach out to me directly if you want to get on my team text list. I send out periodic text announcements on upcoming events. Go to Facebook. I have 2 profiles on Facebook. First one is a personal profile. It's at Fred W. Holmes, Fred W. Holmes. And then I have a business profile, which is Fred Holmes Zija. Go friend me on my personal page, like my business page. I'm putting a lot of information into the field through social media. Be plugged into your upline. Be part of the system. These are the things that are going to make a difference. Now, I'm going to go ahead and open up for question and answer. We'll take about 8, 9 minutes or 10 minutes or so, and then we'll do a little pause. I'll leave the broadcast going, and then I'll be back at the top of the hour with the announcements from the Diamond Club call. Lots of really, really stellar stuff to share with you this morning. Let me see, I got something right here. Fred Holmes called me with a deal. I'm in. Very good. That's it. Oh my goodness, I can't believe my good fortune. Fred Holmes has got a new deal and he's invited us to be part of it. Can I give you my credit card now? Right? That wasn't me. Although I will tell you that in my circle of friends back in the day, I was considered successful in that I had a steady job, I had a credit card that had enough limit still available on it, I could bail my buddy out of jail on Sunday night. Okay, that's when you know that you're at the top of the pecking order. In my circle of friends, I was the guy my buddies would call on Sunday night, bail me out of jail, if get me out of the drunk tank. If I don't get to work in the morning, I'll lose my job. My wife will leave me. My girlfriend will leave me. That was my claim to fame. So, any questions I can help with right now? I'm going to take a little break here shortly. Let's see here. I got somebody that's identified themselves as Samsung SMG93V. I don't know who that is. I am going to be posting this. This is not exactly the Saturday morning new distributor training that I typically do, but it's what I could do because of getting such a late start this morning. Any questions, folks? Anything at all? Doesn't have to be on what we talked about. I'm here to help. I'll let it go for another minute here before shutting down. A couple of key things for you. This week, we have got a stellar beginning to cycle 122. Okay, we're going to have a special broadcast on Wednesday evening with Pat Anderson, Health Talks with Pat. You're going to want to plug into that, promote that. Tuesday evening, night before, this is the once a month corporate call. Okay, the corporate call, we call it the Z-Genation call, will be on Tuesday evening, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 Eastern, except it's not going to be a conference call. It will be a Facebook Live presentation. So you're going to want to make sure that you're part of, that you've friended or liked, Z International, official Z International Facebook profile, and be notified of the, sign up so you can be notified of a Facebook Live broadcast. We'll be getting more information on that. Thursday evening will be, my typical Thursday evening biz talks with Fred. And I can't disclose the name right now because I'm waiting on a confirmation. But I am like 95% sure I'm going to have one of the top income earners in Zija, one of our top ranked distributors, a fella that has literally, was not the guy. This was his first network marketing opportunity. He's built his business around his family. He's become one of our top income earners. Very rarely do I use this phrase to describe somebody, but, I almost said his name. Kevin is the real deal. He's the reason, in my humble opinion, why this profession exists, to be able to change people's lives. Good people's lives, and he's one of the best, and he's the real deal, and I'm excited to have him as my guest. I see no questions, folks. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna pause this. I'm gonna take the recording down, and then I will be back right at the top of the hour. We'll take about 15 minutes. I'm gonna cover the upcoming announcements for period 122. Thank you for joining me. I hope this has been of some help to you. Feel free to reach out directly to me if I can be of any support to your efforts. And we'll pause for right now, and we'll restart a little at the top of the hour. Thanks for joining me, and we'll talk soon. Take care. Bye-bye.